I want you to ask yourself, do I have a talent that I'm not using? Is there something, a gift that I was given that I've been shelving and it's just collecting dust and decay? You have a talent. I know that you have a gift that was given to you from God, and it's time to use it. It's time to use it. Shine your light. Show other people that gift that you have. Inspire other people. Be the light in their world, because when you shine, it inspires other people to do the same thing. Shine your light. Use your gifts. Use your talents. And that's how you create the fulfilling life, the purposeful life, the one that you're just so full of fire and energy and you just love it. Yes! Woo! That's how you do it. You use those talents to their fullest and you bring that passion with you. What talent do you have that the world needs to see? Once you figure that out, you answer that question and you hone it and embrace it, man, your life gets so exciting. This is the Dream Chaser Show. Welcome back to the show, everybody, where our mission is to inspire and improve the lives of those who dare to chase their dreams. And I'm your host, Eric, and today I'm so excited to have you because we're going to be talking all about talents, these God-given gifts that I know that each and every one of you listening has, and you might not even be using it. So we're going to dive into that. And what's beautiful about it is once you realize and truly hone your talents and your gifts that you have, you can use them to create a fulfilling life where you're absolutely excited to wake up, get out of bed, and attack your day. Like, yes, woo, let's go, baby. And the truth is, I know that we have these hills and these valleys in our life where sometimes we're on top, and just like I said, we're excited and we're thrilled to be doing what we're doing because we just love it and we're fulfilled and all these things. And sometimes we're in these valleys, right, where things are just kind of low for us, and we feel heavy, and sometimes we're going through struggles and issues in our lives. So maybe it's a relationship problem that you have, maybe it's money problem that you have, maybe you're just not feeling fulfilled at your current job, the thing that you're going to school for, whatever, right? We're in these low points. What I want for each and every one of us, though, is to get back up on those high points in life where we're feeling fulfilled, where we're excited and ready, and we just love what we're doing. So let's dive into today's show, and we're going to be talking about specifically three things. Number one, finding purpose and fulfillment by using your talents. Number two, creating work that you absolutely love. And most of us have heard this cliche term, and it's if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life, right? I think, though, honestly, there's some validity in that. And what I want to do is actually pull apart the word work, because I think most of us have this preconceived idea of what work is. And it's we go to this place, maybe it's a building, and we clock in at such time, 8 o'clock, and then we clock out at 5. And then we rinse and repeat Monday through Friday, and then we can't wait for the weekend, right? So instead of that, let's look at work as a product or service, because it's honestly one of the two things. You're either creating a product or service, and somebody else is paying you for it. And so at this point, you might be thinking to yourself, Eric, I don't have time to do any of this stuff. I don't have time to create another lifestyle, another job. I just don't have time to do any of this stuff. Well, that's number three, and we're going to be tackling that today. Where are you wasting your time, and where can we start to create this life that's fulfilling? Now, I recently heard this speaker, his name's Jim Rohn. He said this thing that's just been stuck in my head and I can't get it out. He said, if you want anything in your life to change, you've got to change. And I'm like, yeah, that's so true, right? Like, how many times in our lives do we just like, man, if only I had this thing, if only I had more money, my life would be better. If only I had this house, my life would be better. If only I had this girlfriend, this boyfriend, this whatever thing to complete me, my life would be better. Well, our lives are never going to change unless we change. So the biggest opportunity where we can start to make a positive change in our life is in our spare time. And so we're going to dissect where we're using our spare time. Are we using it wisely, or are we throwing it away? All right, here we go. You guys ready? Let's do this. So I want you to do something with me. Let's go arm in arm and take a journey back into your childhood and find a time in your life where you absolutely loved one thing, specific thing. You were really good at it. You could spend all your time doing it. In fact, you just lost track of time doing it. Okay. And I'll help you kind of ignite that flame. So some of you, you were really artistically inclined, really good at drawing, good at painting, maybe good at writing. You're just really creative as a child. Some of you, it might have been working with your hands. You could build anything out of Legos and Kinects, and you just were really good at making things with your hands. And for others, you might have been really musically inclined. You could play an instrument, you could sing and dance. I definitely can't do most of those things. Uh, Mine was I just loved making videos. Now I had this really crappy camcorder that I got from Walmart for like 20 bucks or whatever, and I mean it was horrible. Like you'd watch your videos and it had like the little lines on it, like VHS tapes, right? For those of you old enough, you know what a VHS tape is. And so, but I didn't care, right? I would set it on the ground and I would take my dinosaurs and I would make this epic battle scene where like the little ones are attacking the big T-Rex, and they'd have to overcome obstacles and basically crush the T-Rex, and then the video was over. And sometimes I'd use Legos and Army Men and all kinds of stuff. I just loved making videos. And fast forward to now, what I did with that passion was I would use it in our real estate career. I'd make videos and stuff like that. So for those of you that watched it, I just loved making videos, and I still do it to this day. And when I think of our childhood talents, I can't help but think of my wife. She just absolutely loved selling the candy bars. Remember that time in school where we had to sell candy or pizza? And she was always the top saleswoman. She just loved it, and everyone would buy all of her stuff from her. Me, on the other hand, I couldn't wait to just get rid of it. Basically, I would try to go to my mom's work and pray to God one person would buy all my boxes so I didn't have to do it, right? But that was her skill and that was her talent. And it served her really well when we started real estate. She was just really good at it. But what I want you to do is take a moment to think about that talent or skill that you have. It might have been way back when, right? When you were a kid. And bring that forward to right now and ask yourself, are you using that talent? Or has it just been sitting there decaying? And we know that if we don't use it, we lose it, right? But the good news is there's still probably a little bit of that flame left. We can still take that ember, fan it, and create a flame out of it. So bring that into today and say, hey, how can I start using that again? How can I reignite that passion? Because that's something that you have, that gift that you need to use. And the longer you wait to use it, time is ticking by. And what I want for everybody listening is to have fulfillment and a purposeful life where you're excited to do what it is that you do. And now that we have that passion in our mind, we have to start to dissect and figure out how can we use that to create work that we absolutely love, right? And like I said before, you might be thinking to yourself, dude, Eric, I got a full-time job, I got kids, I've got all these obligations, and I don't have time to create this other job or business that you're talking about. Well, like I alluded to earlier, this is the point where we look into our time and say, how are we using our free time? So think about this truly and take an honest inventory. When you get home from work and after all of your stuff is settled, what are you doing with your time, your free time? Are you spending it on hours of watching TV? Does your Netflix account get used more than your gym membership, right? How many hours are you spending watching movies, YouTube, scrolling Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all these things that are basically designed just to waste our time, just to completely waste our time? Scrolling through these social medias does us zero good. And if we're not careful, some of those time wasters can become full-blown addictions where they feel like completely entrapping and we can't get out of them. Just to name a few: drugs, alcohol, sexual addictions like pornography and stuff like that, gambling, even social media can be an addiction. So now at this point, we need to ask ourselves, how can we change? How can we begin to shift our time waste into usefulness? In order for things to change, we need to be willing to change. You need to be willing to change. And a great time to make a change is by altering our time waste and spending it on something that's actually going to serve us in the future. Serve us in the future. Remember that wasting your time and talents is an insult to your creator and the people who believe in you. So if you're not motivated to change for yourself, be motivated to change for your family, for your kids, for your spouse, for your loved one, for your friends. Somebody believes in you. Don't insult them by wasting all your time. I'm a man of faith, and so I'm reminded of this story in the Bible where it's in Matthew, and Jesus is talking about how we are all like a lamp. We have light inside of us, and we're like a lamp. And I want to read that for you. In Matthew 5:14, he says, "You are the light of the world, and a town that's built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it underneath a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." It says, use your light. Do not hide it. Do not hide your talents, and do not just let them sit and waste away. And the beautiful thing is, once you start to use your talents and you shine that light out for others to see, you will inspire other people to do the exact same thing, right? We all know somebody who's extremely inspiring, who we just love being around because they're upbeat and positive and motivational. And we also know the opposite, right? I call them energy vampires. The people who just suck all of our energy away. Like whenever you're around them, they're just, their shoulders are slouching and nothing's going right. And they complain, complain, complain. It's like, dude, you just need time away from them because they suck all your energy away. So it's important to remember that. Be the light, shine your talents, show other people you're using those talents to chase your purpose and create a fulfilling life. And one other story that I'm reminded of is in the Bible. It's also in Matthew. And Jesus is talking about when a master goes away on a trip and he leaves his entire kingdom and all of his possessions to his servants. And they use this word talents, and I don't think that it's a coincidence. Talents at that time was considered bags of gold, money. But I find it interesting that they use the word talents. So let's dive in. Here's how it goes. Jesus says, "The kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country, who called his servants and delivered his goods to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another he gave 2, and to another he gave 1, each according to his own ability. And immediately he went away on his journey." So at this point, we have this master who's about to head out on a journey, and he's left his servants in charge of everything. And he gave them, one of them he gave 5 talents, the other he gave 2, and the other he gave 1. All right, let's continue. "Then he who had received the 5 talents went and traded them and made another 5 talents. And likewise, he who had received 2 talents gave 2 more. But he who had received 1 talent dug a hole in the ground and hid his Lord's money." So at this point, we've got the first guy. He went, used his talents. He shined his light, used his talents and his time effectively, and created 5 more. The other guy who had 2 talents did the same thing, got 2 more. But the last guy, he just had 1 talent and hid it in the ground. And after a long time, the Lord of those servants came and settled accounts with them. So he who had received the 5 talents came and brought his 5 talents forward, saying, "Lord, you've delivered to me 5 talents. Look here, I've gained 5 more talents beside them." His Lord said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord." So the master was excited and happy for him. He goes, "Well done, good job. I gave you this, you used it, you created more. Great job." Then he who had received 2 talents came and said, "Lord, you delivered to me 2 talents. Look, I gained 2 more talents beside them." And his Lord said to him again, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord." So now we have this other guy, same thing. He had the 2 talents, made 2 more, and his master said, "Well done, great job. I'm going to give to you more." Now let's find out what happens to the guy who hid his talent and never used it. Then he who had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you had not sown and gathering where you had not gathered seed. And I was afraid. I went and hid your talent in the ground. Look, there you have what is yours. So he just basically gave it back to him. But his Lord answered and said to him, You wicked and lazy servant. You knew that I reap where I had not sown and gathered where I had not gathered seed. I kind of imagine he'd being sarcastic here. He's obviously very pissed. He's angry. And he goes on to say, So you ought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and at my coming I would have received back my own with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to him who has 10 talents. So he rips that talent away and gives it to the guy who has 10 talents. And here's where it gets pretty bad. He goes on to say, For everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. But for him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. And cast that unprofitable servant into the darkness, where there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So he's basically saying, cast him into hell. Get rid of him. Because he was lazy. He didn't use the talents that he was given. He was unfaithful in using what he was given. And so here we're at this point where I kind of wrestle with this stuff. And what I truly want for each and everybody listening is, I want us, when we get up there, I want our Creator to say, Well done, good and faithful servant. You used what I gave you. You used your talents, and you shined your light for other people to see and glorify your Father in heaven. Well done. Good job. Come into my kingdom. That's what I want. And the last thing that I want is the alternative, where Jesus said, For he who does not have, even what he has will be taken from him. Right? He says, You wicked and lazy servant, throw him away. So every now and then I sit and I think to myself, do I have a talent that I'm not using? Is there something, a gift that I was given that I've been shelving and it's just collecting dust and decaying? And when I came across this, man, that hit me hard, because I don't want to get up there and have him say, take from him what was given to him and give it to somebody else. And I don't want that for anybody listening. I know you have a talent. I know that you have a gift that was given to you from God, and it's time to use it. It's time to use it. Shine your light. Show other people that gift that you have. Inspire other people. Be the light in their world, because when you shine, it inspires other people to do the same thing. Shine your light. Use your gifts. Use your talents. And that's how you create the fulfilling life, the purposeful life, the one that you're just so full of fire and energy and you just love it. Yes, woo! That's how you do it. You use those talents to their fullest, and you bring that passion with you. So as we end this show, I want you to ask yourself one question. Think about it, truly. Shut off the episode. Maybe go on a walk. Maybe just sit in silence. Or maybe when you're laying down in bed at night, think about this question. What talent do you have that the world needs to see? What talent do you have that the world needs to see? Once you figure that out, you answer that question, and you hone it and embrace it, man, your life gets so exciting. And I'm so excited for you. Thanks so much for listening, guys. And do me a favor. If you like this episode, share it with somebody. Send it to somebody you know, because you never know who you're going to inspire. You never know who we can help fan that flame, reignite those passions, and help them chase their dreams. Take care, guys. We'll see you next time.